So when you log into TinkerCad, you should get a window that looks like this. If not, if you click up here on the TinkerCad grid in the top left corner, it'll take you here. There's a couple different ways you can start your 3D design. You can go up here to Tinker and then click on 3D design, or you can click on create and 3D design. There's a lot of other design environments in TinkerCad. But those would have to be in another tutorial. So I'm going to go create 3D design. And then that will take you to the design space. And in this video, I'm just going to show you how to navigate the design space. So you'll end up with your work plane here, and the first thing you need to make sure you know how to do is just move around on the space. So your view cube up here is your best friend. This is how you can navigate around the space to see different sides of your project. If you click on the home button, it will just take you home. Okay, and I'll go through the rest of these in a second, but it's actually easier to have something on the work plane when you're doing that. So over here on the right, these are all the different shapes you can use to build your model. And if you click on the down arrows here, there's a lot of different categories of shapes. We're just going to stick with basic shapes for now, and we'll just stick a cube on here. So you can see now, using my view cube, I can navigate around my cube, and you will notice that the cube has got these 5 little squares here, and there's a cone on top, and there are rotation arrows. So I'm just going to explain what these are. These, if you click on any of these, you can actually change the dimensions. So that's the easiest way to add dimensions to your shape. You can also just click and drag, which is also not a bad way to do it, but you'll end up being less exact sometimes. So I can use this to drag, so I can use this corner to drag it this way. If I want to make the shape taller, I can click on the top one here, or I can just put a number in there. And finally, the cone, or second to last, will move it up and down off the workspace. And then the rotation arrows can be used to rotate your shape. If you keep your cursor on the inside of this blue arrow, it will jump by kind of 22.5 degrees. If you move to the outside, you can move it by a degree. Okay, so you can use these arrows to rotate your shapes. So now I've got a shape on here. We're going to go to the, let's put another shape on top of it. Let's just move this on top here. Okay. So home button will take me to home so I can see the whole shape. If I click on the zoom in button, it will zoom in on whatever part I have selected. So let's go back to home. Let's select this part. You can zoom in. Okay. And then you also have the old-fashioned zoom in and out plus and minus buttons. For each shape you put in, you will get a dialog box up here where, depending on the shape, you will be able to change different parts of the shape. So on the square here, I can change the radius. I can also add measurements in here. I can decide whether it's going to be a negative space, a hole, or a solid space. I can change the color. And so this is a good box to know about. And then so the final thing to point out is when you select a shape, up here there are a number of tools that can be used to combine shapes. So to combine shapes, I can select all the shapes, and then you'll see these tools show up. So this one here will align them. This will give me different ways I can align them. So if I want to center them, I can just click on the center tool. So now I know that's exactly in the center. If I want to move this down a little bit, I can do that. If I change this into a hole, now I put a hole in the middle. And so in order to make that one piece, I need to select everything. And then up here, I'm going to click on group. And I've now cut that hole out of the middle. So that's a really quick overview of the basic tools and the basic workflow you follow to make things in TinkerCad.